and they say Google doesn't work. Guess what? Google works, and some of your competitors are killing on Google. You just wrote one bad ad.
I can see the whole wide world with these two eyes, and I can be whoever I wanna be, 'cause it's my life.
Hi, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Ask Spurrell CPA. Today we're continuing to talk about key performance indicators, and the KPI we're talking about this time is online ad clicks. I have Tyson here with me again.
Hello.
So Tyson, you've seen how the online ads work and don't work in some customers, so they can be pretty significant, hey?
Oh, it helps a ton, and it's helped us a lot.
yeah, and you can see some other clients, I'm sure you've seen the records where they spend a lot of money, it doesn't work at all sometimes. Yeah. That's the fact of it. So the quote that we have here today is Jim Collins, author of 6 business books, including one of my favorites, Good to Great. The Good to Great companies did not focus principally on what to become great. They focused equally on what not to do and what to stop doing. The statistic that we have here is Industry Canada. It will tell us that 50% of all Canadian small businesses will fail, and 42% of these failed small businesses will cite their inability to attract enough customers as one of the primary causes for failure, making it the most common cited term. And tying it back with the quote is because they're likely focused on things that aren't working and what need to know whether to stop doing, so they can focus more time on the things that are doing in order to generate more customers. And the story that we have is continuing on in this series of videos is business owners. They identified, they know revenue is a problem. We've done financial statements for them, we've done the analysis, and revenue is the issue. We can't minimize expenses any further. They know they're going to need to track and achieve key performance indicators, or KPIs, in order to hit these objectives in a meaningful way moving forward. They know they're going to get 40 Google reviews, and they know they're going to get 1 Google review every single month thereafter. They know that they're going to do 12 YouTube videos, and they're going to do 1 YouTube video every week thereafter, and they're going to get those transcriptions uploaded onto their website that they rank. They got an ad spend worked out. So they're spending a certain number of ads. They got an ad out there that is getting enough impressions. And then they want to go from impressions to lead. But they're going to miss something really key in the middle, in between impressions and lead. So Tyson, talk to us about what questions these business owners should be asking.
Okay. First off is when someone asks, how many clicks are you getting? What does it mean?
So the clicks means usually what that they're talking about there is you have an ad that's running. And they're wondering how many people clicked on that ad to go to your website or to your landing page. And so that's the number of actual people that not just have seen the ad. The seeing the ad is the impression. But the click is actually they clicked on the ad and they got redirected to your website or landing page. Usually that's what they're talking about.
All right. Do most people make the copy and ads too long?
They do. So, and this was my natural inclination to do it is, we're business owners, we're passionate about a subject, and we know a lot about a subject, but people have very short attention spans, and Google is littered with competitors and alternatives. So you got to make the ad super short, super concise, and it says exactly what you want to say in the fewest words possible. Going back to the Shakespeare, brevity is the soul of wit. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. You got to make it as simple and as concise as possible, especially on an ad where that space is at a premium.
Okay. Is it possible for an ad to have a lot of impressions but not a lot of clicks?
Yeah, you can have an ad that has a bunch of impressions, but no one's clicking on it. So your ad's getting in front of thousands and thousands of people, but no one is actually clicking on that ad. And that's why we need to monitor not just impressions straight to leads, but impressions to clicks to leads.
Yeah. Do a lot of people write bad ads then blame the advertising platform?
Yes. We've had clients who I spent money on ads. Well, what did you write? Oh, I don't know. I had someone do it for me. Or they just didn't spend a lot of time on getting that copy in the ad, making that offer enticing enough that someone's actually going to click on the ad. And they say Google doesn't work. Guess what? Google works, and some of your competitors are killing on Google. You just wrote one bad ad. We just have to write a better ad in order for that to work.
Okay. If only 0.5% of all impressions result in clicks, is that a bad thing?
So you would think that we're talking about less than 1%, 0.5%, are going to click on an ad. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Depending on the metrics and the profit margin of your business, that could be a very successful advertising campaign. We're talking about for every 200 people who see your ad, one of them is going to click on your website. Believe it or not, on an ad campaign, that can be fantastic, right? Think about how much it used to cost to drop 1,000 flyers, and you're hoping to get 1 out of 100. Well, dropping a flyer generally is a lot more expensive, just 1 flyer, than getting 1 impression on Google. So if you can get a click, that's actually really good. So depending on the business, sometimes it can be, the metrics can be a little bit different, but a lot of business is 0.5%. That sounds terrible. It can actually be a complete moneymaker.
What is cost per click or CPC?
So the cost is when you start looking at the cost of running that ad, and you divide that total cost of running that ad divided by the number of clicks, you're going to get a cost per click. How much did it cost you each and every time that someone clicked on that ad? Because that's the goal at the end of the day. It's not just the number of impressions. Impressions aren't really what's going to drive it. It's you want to generate leads. In order to generate leads, we've got to move them from seeing the ad to clicking on the ad to then taking action. But what is that cost per click?
If the ad is targeted at irrelevant keywords, what will happen to the CPC?
So sometimes you can have an ad targeted at irrelevant keywords, and it can really manipulate your cost per click. You're getting a lot of people clicking or not clicking who aren't really interested in your service. So you have these keywords that don't really deal that well with your ad, and it looks like you're going to have to spend a lot of money to get people to click on the site. But maybe it's just you need to go back to your keywords, and do your keywords really represent the ad, what's in the ad, the copy, the problem that you're solving with that ad that you're putting in front of the customer, and how often people are going to click on it.
Is it possible for clicks to not convert to leads because of bad websites?
Yeah. So sometimes the other part of it is, we're getting all these clicks. All these clicks are coming through. Why am I getting no leads? And the people will go back to, this Google thing doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Well, no. Sometimes maybe we're getting the impression. We got the right keywords in there. We're getting in front of enough people, and the right people, not too many, but the right people. And those people are looking at the copy. It's kind of an enticing offer, and they're clicking and they're coming to your site. But then your site is not set up to convert it to. So it's getting between clicks to leads. If we know they're clicking but they're not converting, we start looking at really strongly at what happens on that website. What does that website look when it draws them to it? Is it actually encouraging them to take action? Maybe the ad's good and the website is bad.
Mm-hmm. How often should you track the performance of your ads?
I think you should track the performance of your ads weekly. I think this is a task that you should be doing each and every week in your business, and looking at how many impressions did I get on my ads, how many clicks did I get on my ads, how many new leads did I get on my business, and how much of that leads is actually converting into new business. That's a weekly exercise. That is the lifeline of your business. Nothing happens until you earn some revenue in a business. So it's something that you should be doing each and every week.
Okay. And should you have a professional help you with this?
I think you should have a professional help you with this. You go back through the steps. There are so many steps in this process. Right from, you got to set up your Google Places right to begin with. You can make an error in setting up the Google Places. You have it in the wrong category. No one's seeing it. You don't know how to set it up. Then how am I getting reviews? What is the script on the reviews? What are some ideas to generate some more reviews? Then I want to do my first YouTube video. Well, we get a first YouTube video, but what meta tags do you need in the YouTube video so anyone can actually find that YouTube video? What services you're going to use in order to transcribe that video, and then once you have that service transcribed, you got to get it up onto a website that's got to be SEO compliant. Just the software alone to check on its SEO compliant is going to be a couple $100 a month if you're trying to do this on yourself, and you're still not know what you're doing. I mean, your time is probably better spent developing more content than being a coder. I mean, because it doesn't matter if the coder is done perfect and you become the world's best coder, you still have no content because you spent all your time learning how to be a coder. So I'm not sure that's relevant at all. And then we get into an ad and we can have a mistake in the keywords that we're looking for, so we're not getting enough interest, we're not generating enough impressions from those ads, we're not counting the number of clicks that's coming onto it, we're not monitoring the leads. There is a lot of steps in this process. It's really easy to blow a lot of money out the door on ads that are not working, they're never going to work, and there could be a fix. You need to have that second set of eyes who can review and also offer suggestions. Trying to write copy for an ad by yourself in a vacuum is difficult. This is something you want to bounce off of someone else, and a lot of times you want to bounce it off of someone who's not in your industry, or I'm trying to bounce accounting ideas off another accountant. They don't know how that's going to resonate with a non-accountant, because it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to generate business from other accountants. I'm trying to generate business from people who need to hire an accountant. If I'm an electrician, I'm not trying to get other electricians to call me. I'm trying to get people whose lights won't turn on to call me, or lights are flickering in their place. So yeah, I think this is the point where you should have probably another professional help you with that. So that's what we have here today. Thanks so much for tuning in again. As always, please hit the like and subscribe button so we can continue to deliver you tips on how to beat the odds at business. And we look forward to reading your comments below so we know what to address in future videos. Thanks very much.